This is the Cool Photo Tools Podcast, episode number 58, March 14th, 2016.
Are you sick of trying to learn all the new photo software? Are you tired of hearing about the next big thing in photography? Well, neither are we. Welcome to Cool Photo Tools with Jay Pierstorff and Rhonda Spencer.
Today's sponsor is Audible.com, who has more than 180,000 audiobooks and spoken word audio products. Get a free audiobook of your choice at www.audibletrial.com/coolphototools. Well, good morning, listeners. Good morning, cool heads. Good morning, photo enthusiasts. And good morning to Rhonda Spencer.
Hey, hello. How are you?
Welcome back from your vacation.
Thanks. Did you miss me?
Well, yeah, we did. We missed you a lot over here because we were, I was having to run the show by myself and think of things and run the switcher, and it was exhausting. I just glad to have you back.
Well, thanks. So, glad to be back. Here I am.
So let's try to time that better next year, where your vacation doesn't coincide with having to function with a podcast.
Well, let's see. That means never.
Oh, you're never going to take a vacation again?
No. It just looks like I'll probably never be able to take it. With those little guidelines, I'm going to be here forever. Ever, never, never.
Okay, sounds good to me. All right, good. So I'll take a vacation and you can run the show.
Okay. No, there's too many wires.
There are a lot of wires.
There are a lot of wires.
I've got to narrow it down to like 2, and then I can get this to work.
Yeah.
Well,
so what's new, Jay?
Well, the new things that we've got here, we've got all kinds of new stuff. While you were gone, we were just deluged with interesting stuff to look at, and we're not done. There's more stuff coming up here, and the thing that I have right now is this on Amazon. This is the something from Samsung. This is called the Blackdove Digital Canvas, and this is a commercial display. So it's designed to go in a restaurant or a theater or something in the lobby, so that you're going to have an opportunity to put these still or motion pictures. We've seen these. These are not new, right? These are they're like a big TV monitor, essentially, is what they are. But this time, this is kind of specifically developed for this market, and these are going to be $1,000. And I think the size on these is, what did I say these were? They're like 50 inches, something like that. And they're not, their ratio is, if you look at this ratio on here, it's not really, it's not the same as it's be different than just getting a big 50-inch TV and hanging it up in your lobby or your restaurant or your commercial space. Why? These are, because look at the dimension. This is long and skinny on this one. It's, what is the dimension? I'm trying to find the web size on here. I should have been ready. I wasn't even ready here. But I've got a link to this in the show notes. So if you go to Amazon.
Doesn't even look like the normal dimension that a normal picture would be.
No, it's a little longer and skinnier. Yeah. So it's, it's designed to give a more commercial look to things. It wouldn't fit your normal out of camera type of.
No. Be good for landscapes if you did it.
They have a little video here I'm going to just run. For those of you that are checking our Cool Photo Tools YouTube channel, you can take a look at the various products, and we have a link on our website, coolphototools.com. You can go click on podcasts, and you can get a link to all these things that we've been talking about here. So anyway, that's kind of interesting. And I think this kind of reminds me of there's another product called the Electric Objects Digital Art Display, but it is much smaller and designed for the home, and it's about $500. And these they don't really support motion per se. I mean, they do have some motion, but it's more limited. It would be like an animated GIF or GIF file. And
so it could roll pictures then, is what you're saying.
Well, it's designed to kind of replace a picture in a frame on your wall. And so and it connects through Wi-Fi. So they have a whole network of people that contribute art, or you can subscribe to commercial art, and so your art display on your wall can change all the time. Anyway, so that's kind of something, we've seen these before. This is kind of like the digital picture frame, right? We were
On a bigger scale.
yeah, we've been looking at those. So
And how much is it?
it is $500, $499 is the price on those. So if you got
It's relative.
yeah, while you're talking about your Nix, I'm going to go back and look and see what the price and the size was on that thing. While you're talking about your next object, which is
Da-da-da-da.
you're on.
I am. Hello.
Well,
Hello.
your picture of your screen is on. Your computer screen's on.
So this is the Flex Lens Shade. And I actually own one of these. I brought it with me. Flip me over. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me, Jay.
I'm working
There you
on
go.
it.
All right.
Which button is it?
I know. So it's very handy because it doesn't take up a lot of space in your camera bag. And now you can flip it back to the other screen. So it says a must for any photographer's bag. Well, it is handy because, as you know, you always are kind of if you're in the sun, working with trying to shade your lens. And this is just a handy little thing to carry that shades your lens. Works on all camera lenses. So if you're looking that you don't want to have to carry a whole bunch of different lens hoods, this is the thing that you do. Use this. You don't have to have a bunch of lens hoods. Fits on virtually any lens, I think. I won't unsnap it because it's like, you hear Velcro.
The sound of Velcro in the early morning podcasts.
Yeah, but it's flexible, bends, so that you can do it in all sorts of different. So there you go.
So what? Yeah, this is kind of a. It's a piece of cloth, kind of, but it's got a stiffener in it. Which
Yeah, it
is,
does.
So and maybe some wire or
Probably
something.
wiring in it,
Yeah,
so that
it
you're able
bends.
to
You can twist
bend
it around and make a custom shape.
Right.
So this is not nearly as convenient as having a lens hood that.
Covers all corners, but it does a really good job.
But but it only works from one angle, so you
True.
have to
You're gonna
tell it where the sun is and move
Right.
it based on that. So it's not as like you can't really set it and forget it like some of the other ones.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it goes out about 6 or 7 inches,
Yeah.
so it would be maybe more effective in some situations.
Well,
to
it's
shade
more
it.
effective because you can shape it on how you wanted it. So you can.
Yeah, I'm not okay. All right. Now, how much was this again?
It's like $39.
39. Oh,
Yeah, so-
they don't give that away.
Well, $39.95. Have you ever gone and tried to price some lens hoods that go on Canon lenses?
Never,
Oh, well, don't.
because I still have the ones that come with them.
Well, not all of them come with them, though.
Well, because if they don't come with them, they probably don't need them.
Well, kind of.
Because even some of the wide angles, the ultra wides, they're shaped like a flower, like a tulip
Right.
or a flower like that.
They have the cutout.
And they're so sculpted or cut out that really, the amount of, because they'll vignette. If you put the wrong lens hood on, it will
Right.
make the dark corners. So they're so wide that you can't really even effectively use a lens hood. So, and if like the Canon 50 millimeter or the Nikon 50 millimeters, the lens element is really recessed in the barrel. So yeah, you can buy lens hoods for them, but they don't do anything, If the lens is heading straight at your camera lens, if it's low enough in the horizon that it's going to hit right on the front element of that glass, there's probably not going to be a lens hood that's going to stop that.
That's true.
So, it's
But this is good. Like I said, this serves its purpose, and it doesn't take up much space.
okay. If you say so. So I was
See, this is why he missed me. Yes.
I didn't have time to run the switcher and the I didn't have enough. I couldn't move back and forth quick enough.
Right on.
So yeah, I was looking back at this, and I had to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page to see what size that monitor was, and see. But right here at the bottom, it's a 48 inch. But the actual dimensions are, because that's diagonal, so it's
Right.
42 by 24.
By 24, that's pretty skinny.
Yeah, so that's and it weighs 27 pounds. It's got 3-year guarantee, but that's
That's pretty thin.
Blackdove digital canvas powered by Samsung SSP.
Righto.
Isn't that short for Species Survival Plan?
Could be.
Strange. All right. So anyway, that's the digital canvas. I kind of like the idea behind these. I think they're They're interesting, and you see them everywhere. So if you need one of those, $1,000, we'll get it to you on Amazon. All right, Rhonda, back
Good
to you.
old
See, I'm still
Amazon.
talking. See how I did that? I just went from one thing and then back to the same thing because I
Yeah.
wasn't ready. I didn't have my notes down right. So
Okay, I was looking at cameras this week. Lots of sorry, just what we
I
talked
switched
about.
over just as you
just
zoomed
as I
past,
zoomed past
which is
it.
okay because the people that are listening to this on audio only you're
Didn't
gonna have
see
to,
that.
You have to describe it to them.
This is the Fujifilm XT1 mirrorless digital camera, and you can get it with the 18-135 lens. Looks like a pretty smoking camera. The only thing that kind of stunned me is it was only 16.3 megapixels, which is for today's date. You know, you look at it and you
Seems
go,
a little
what?
low, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does. But you know, on ratings on this, it got like 5 stars, and it got 5 stars from a lot of different places.
Well, okay,
And Jay's favorite thing, it's got a viewfinder in it.
well, it darn well better shaped like
I
that.
know, you
I
know.
mean,
Well, that's his major thing that he complains that they don't have viewfinders on these, and this one does.
so who would use this? Who's this camera for?
By the looks of this, I would say it could work for anybody. I mean, it's
Well, obviously, it's going to be advanced amateurs
it
or
is at least-
professionals.
yes.
This isn't going to fit in your pocket because it's got it's a DSLR, right?
No, it's a mirrorless.
Okay, it's a mirrorless, but it just looks like a DSLR.
It
'cause
looks
it's
like a
got-
DSLR.
It's got the little pentaprism bump on the
It
top.
does. It does. But fairly thin. Okay, let's look at this view of it.
It does have a viewfinder, 16
Yeah, it does.
megapixels. I'm
That's
surprised
the
you
only
didn't go to
thing
20 on it.
that surprised me.
And how much are these?
Now, see, look at this. The camera itself is $9.99.
Just for the body.
If you get it with the body and the lens here.
And the
it's-
smoking lens that
it's
you're showing off here is
$15.99.
what size lens is that?
That is the 18-135.
Okay, 18 to 135 for
Yeah.
$1,600.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, it really intrigued me. It looks really like a really nice camera.
So does this have any outstanding features that you might? Why would you buy this camera instead of somebody else? Is there any unique features to it? I mean, assuming if you were already in Nikon or Canon's ecosystem and had all their lenses, that would be one strike against
I
it.
like
But you're starting
Fujifilm.
out. Fuji makes some very nice
It makes some
cameras.
very good cameras.
They do. I'm not saying you shouldn't start there. I'm just saying,
Well, for
assuming you're a
me-
new buyer, you're going to start from ground zero.
Well, I'm going to look and see how many stars everybody gives it.
Okay, so
And
you're
how
checking the
every-
Amazon reviews to see.
No, just not the Amazon. I looked at several of the big magazine reviews on it, on actual who said that the best cameras coming from last year up was, and this was one of them. This
Okay.
one rated a 5.5
Wow.
in all categories.
Wow.
So to me, that's like telling you that a lot of people have looked at it, and a lot of people think it's really good.
Wow.
Does
Wow,
the
wow.
full HD recording, Wi-Fi. It just looked like a swinging camera. Let's see what else they said on it here. Having the OLED viewfinder. It has a tilting also monitor on the back of it. And the price range, I thought the price range was pretty doggone good.
All right, so you're going to get one of these?
If I was tempted, what would tempt me more if this would have been 22 megapixels.
Yeah, or 24 even.
Or 24. Yeah.
It's kind of a little surprising it's that low.
It is.
Like you say, based on it's a fairly modern camera.
Yeah.
But of course maybe that would raise the price substantially too. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the Fujifilm XT1 mirrorless digital camera.
Yeah.
It's highly recommended from Rhonda Spencer's review readings.
Yes. That's why I said all the ones I put up today are the cameras that everybody looked at that gave them 5 stars and better.
Okay.
So
All right.
that's important to me. I always look to see
Yeah,
how
no,
other
I
people
agree.
review. If
It's-
people think that it gets 3 stars, there's a reason why.
I agree. When something new like that comes out, it's nice to to have somebody look at it that's already maybe they they get the features and are like, hey, you know what? If they just did this, or maybe there's a fatal flaw that one thing I like about Amazon is is the reviews. You can see if there's anything that's worthwhile or not. Okay. Well, I've got one other thing coming up here that really got my attention. I don't know if you saw this one or not. This is a fellow by the name of Said Dagdeviren, and forgive me if I mispronounce that. It's from Istanbul, Turkey, and he has these animated double exposures images, and he uses a product called Cinamagraph. Did you see these, Rhonda?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So what we're looking at is these are kind of pictures of animals that are by themselves. They're not like he's extracted them in Photoshop, so they're on just a plain white background or maybe a very light background. But then if you look at the image itself, notice that there is an animated element. So like here we're looking at a crocodile or an alligator, I'm not sure which. And there you see the waves in the water are washing through the silhouette.
Looks like a squid from here. I can't see it that way.
Yeah, well, that's true. You're using a very small monitor today. Okay, here's a bear, and you can see that in the silhouette kind of the bear, there's a bird flying in the background.
Yeah, it's pretty doggone cool.
It is pretty
So
neat.
is it like a GIF?
Sort of. And you can make animated GIFs from these, although animated GIFs tend to be kind of low
Res.
in the amount of colors that they have. So there's other ways that you can display these. But anyway, a whole bunch of these. I'll link to this in the show notes. And these are really, and here's one that's not moving, but still a nice image. So yeah, I'll link to that in the show notes. You can take a look at that. And so that, here's one with there's all different styles of these. These are really interesting. This is kind of
Quite creative.
Yeah. So what a cinemagraph is a picture that's part movie and part still. So for example, you might have a picture of a person, like a portrait, but then the background is moving behind them, but their portrait is still. So it's kind of a partial movie, partial still. And there is a company that makes a program for this, which is a Mac-based program here. If I can find it on my scale here. Get too many tabs going on here.
That's all right.
Okay, and I saw this on creativemarket.com on their blog. They linked to this initially, so that's where I discovered this from Creative Market, and then went to the artist's website. So then, how do you make a cinemagraph? Well, there's a company called Flixel, Flixel.com, and they make a program that specifically creates cinemagraphs, but it's Mac only. So if you've got a Mac, you're good to go. If you don't, then there's some examples we're showing on the screen here. But if you don't, then you can still make them, but you might have to do a little more work. Particularly if you got Photoshop, you can do these. This program makes it very nice and easy, but they are only supporting Mac at the present time. So let's take a look at.
How dare them?
See, here's one on my website here. You can see I've got a cinemagraph there. See the background's moving and I'm standing in the front, not moving. And it just kind of plays. It plays. This actually was converted to an animated GIF or GIF. So here's the directions on how to make your own. And this. Oops! Now I'm on the wrong place here. Okay, I got to find it here.
Where'd we go?
Yeah, where did we go? I had this all lined up. I'll put the show notes. There's directions online to a website that shows exactly how to make these in Photoshop. So if these aren't brand new, but if you haven't ever done one before, they're kind of cool. They might have some specific uses, particularly for internet display. You're gonna use these on the internet because you need the element of motion. So what you got? Are you still awake over there, Rhonda?
I am. I'm going to do bragging rights, though. I just got, this is the Western Apache animals compiled from the Apache Elders book, which they used my imagery in. It's a very cool book that was put together by the San Carlos Apache tribe. It's more to educate their youth of the animals up in that area. So there's one of my pictures. And the cool thing about this book is, I don't know how well you can see it, it gives the Indian's name of the animal, tells about the animal, gives the footprints so that you can...
You're talking about Native Americans?
Uh-huh, yes.
As opposed to people that live in India?
Yes.
Yeah, just to draw the distinction.
All right. Now listen, I'm American Indian. I can call them Indians if I want to.
Okay, well, it is
true.
Just trying to make it clear
Yes.
what part of the world we're talking.
Yes, we're talking
'Cause we
of...
do have people on the podcast. I can't see what you're holding up.
We are talking about the Western Apaches. So
Okay.
by the San Carlos Indians.
Okay.
How can I get this where you can see it? Can you see it?
We'll have to,
Okay.
here, hand it to me.
Give it to you.
Let's see.
It's like, where are we? Can you see it better? There you go. It's just a very
There's a lot of
nice
glare
book.
on that cover, isn't there?
Yeah. I was going to pull back the white.
Fold
There
back
you
the
go.
cover.
There you can
So
see
is
it.
this your picture on the cover?
No, it isn't. I've got quite a few of
What
the
am I
Indians.
showing that
in
for
there.
then? What page is your picture
I
on?
don't know. I've got several pictures
Oh,
in
there's
there.
all kinds of pictures in
There
there.
is. It's like I said. It's just a really
It's just like a
interesting,
natural history type of.
that they actually put out to help educate the Apache youth.
I see.
But it's very interesting. It's interesting if you are interested in.
Ooh, there's a CD in here.
There is a CD
Is there a
in
movie?
there. No, I think it's up
Is
the
it
book.
the Minions? No.
Yeah, they sent me the Minions book with it.
Okay, so all these pictures are on the CD in this one too. Does this come with the book standard?
It does.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
got it.
I
CD in there.
I thought it was very cool. I was honored to be in the book.
Yeah, that's
for
nice.
educational
So where can people
purposes.
can these people buy these?
Yeah, but you'd have to do it through the tribe up there.
Okay, so we can't put a link in the show notes and
I
get
don't know.
it.
I'll look and find out. I'll talk
find
to
that out
Seth and see where we can link that people can
Because
actually.
this has a lot of natural history.
Oh,
in
it
if you're-
does. It's wonderful.
if
It's
you're
quite
interested in the
educational.
animals in that area. That's a nice book.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
up next, I've got an announcement about the Lee filters. Do you use Lee filters, Rhonda?
Not necessarily leaf filters.
That would be I'm not so sure.
I was trying to think because I have a lot of different filters at home. I'm like
Yeah.
going through. Do I have the Lee? What is Lee also
well,
known as?
they're just like square pieces of glass, that
Yes,
you have
and I
a
do.
special. They make like
Yeah.
graduated filters and whatnot, but they also have been coming out with these called they have one called the Big Stopper, and this is the Super Stopper, and what those are essentially is they're a filter that is a neutral density filter, so it's like sunglasses for your camera essentially, but this one has I don't know if we can see this. Let me see if I can magnify this on screen. For those of you looking. Okay, so here's the exposure guide. So essentially, what you do with these, what do you do? Why would you want one of these? Let me just zoom back a little bit here. Okay, so here's an example here, and I don't know if this is going to be easy to see. Let me see if I can.
There you go. That's better.
Okay. So if you look at the picture on the left with no filter, we're looking at a picture of a seashore. There's some rocks and there's an ocean and there's the horizon and
the
clouds in
colors
the
are a little
sky.
bland.
Yeah, it's your typical ocean shot. There's no people in it. It's just kind of rocks and whatnot. And so if you can slow the shutter speed down to several seconds or several minutes, maybe even an hour or more, then everything that's moving, and you have your camera on a tripod, everything that's moving in the scene becomes blurred. And particularly the waves as they wash in and out, and the little the white areas of the waves and the foam and whatnot moves. And then the sky also moves because the earth is rotating, and so the sky changes, and wind blowing the clouds and whatnot. And so the rocks stay perfectly in position because your camera's on a tripod, nothing moves, and everything that is moving then has time and records.
Has that nice milky
Looks like
look.
cotton candy.
Yeah.
You cut cotton candy water, cotton candy clouds, everything is kind of streaked and blurred. So this is an effect that you do with a neutral density filter. And so the Super Stopper filter here has some crazy times. So normally if you set your camera up where your normal shutter speed was for 2 seconds, for a 2-second exposure, by using the Super Stopper, exposure would be 17 hours and 4 minutes.
Wow.
Okay, so normally if you had a 2,000th of a second shutter speed with the super stopper, then you'd have 15-second exposure. So you can make ultra long time exposures in pretty much any light.
Wow, that's
is
amazing.
the idea behind these. So this is if this is something that you're looking for to try to cut that light down to get this kind of effect, this motion blur of clouds and sea and whatnot, then the Lee filter, super stopper, may be for you.
Well, Lee filters have been around for a lot of years. They do produce really good glass filters.
Yeah, these are high quality. I don't know, are these glass or are they plastic?
Well, they're plastic.
It
Now, they
probably
used to
doesn't
be
matter.
glass.
But I think plastic has gotten to
Yeah.
the point where
It's clear enough that they can use it.
it works fine. And the coating on these is the fragile part. Anyway, it's not so much that it's glass or plastic. It's the coating that you have to be careful with them. You know, they're like sunglasses. Sunglasses for your camera.
Sunglasses for your camera. So how much are they? You still didn't say.
I can't
'Cause they're-
tell you.
I know, because they're usually really expensive.
Yeah. I'll
I
see
mean,
if
once
I
you
can,
put Lee on it, then you're like kicking up the
Yeah.
price on them.
I'll look that up and we'll put that in the show notes. I think they are kind of pricey, but I don't know. It depends on the size you buy too. Depending on the lens you're going to put it on. Smaller sizes, of course, are cheaper.
Yeah.
And that is on the linhofstudio.com site that we were looking at there. All right, Rhonda,
All right.
You're up. Go for it. What do you got?
Next mirrorless camera, the Sony
we're
Alpha
having-
A7 II mirrorless digital camera. Yeah, I was
Are you
looking.
gonna buy a Sony?
You
Are you
know,
gonna buy a mirrorless?
I must be thinking on it because I sure am looking at them, aren't I?
You are. You're like,
I am.
Why is that
Well,
mirror?
I've had my 5D Mark III since it came out. How old is that? But
about
amazingly,
3 years.
I think it's older than that. I was amazed because I was just reading that they were saying that camera is still one of the top end cameras. So it has held itself for a long, long time. You know, camera bodies usually come and go, but that one. And I love my camera. I do. But it might be nice to play with some of these lighter cameras.
Well, I think
You know.
I think that's a good possibility. You know, I've got the 5D Mark III also, but I also use the Sony A6000 for certain things. Now, you know, it doesn't replace a full frame camera. But now
True.
here you are looking at, is this a full frame? The Alpha A7?
I think this is a full frame camera, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
24,
Okay.
24 megapixels, full frame.
Oh yeah, it's full frame.
Yeah. And you're going to pay for it, of course.
So
you know.
it's about $1,700
Yeah, about
for the body.
$1,700 for the body. Nice small.
Yeah. Now there was some, there's been some kind of sentiment on this that the
And look, Jay, a viewfinder.
yeah, for $1,700, it darn well.
Here, well, this is the
It darn
major
well
thing
better have a viewfinder for $1,700
that Jay is always talking about is that all these cameras come out, they don't have viewfinders.
Don't have eye level viewfinders.
Right.
You just have to look at the LCD on the
Right,
back,
which doesn't work.
it works in dark spaces, but not in bright sunlight, and it's very difficult to track sporting events
Yes.
without an eye level viewfinder. But mirrorless, are making some big advances in that direction as well. And if I can I steal your thunder? Are you done
You
with
may.
that one?
No, go
Okay.
ahead. Yeah.
All right. So, have you seen? Speaking of mirrorless cameras, there is one from Sony that has come out. This has been announced a few weeks ago, and this is the Alpha 6300, and this is a follow up to their Alpha 6000. Although it doesn't replace the 6000, it is in addition to, because it's about twice as much money. But it has some improvements. It's got some ruggedization to the body. It has, it's supposed to be, splash resistant and faster focusing. So this is supposedly the fastest focusing camera in the world. This has over 400 or around 400 autofocus points. And so it has extremely good face detection, can shoot 11 frames per second, mirrorless again. And this one, here you can see all these phase detection points on the screen we're looking at here. And they APS-C size sensor. And so, if you already have invested in the Sony E-mount lenses, then you're good to go with this camera. So I have one on order, so I don't have
Do
it
you?
yet. But yeah, decided to order one.
Okay, going back to the camera I was just talking about, this Alpha A7. What fascinated me, because I watched some of the videos on it, it says it features a 5-axis steady shot inside image stabilization.
Okay.
So it does pitch, yaw, horizontal, and watching what they were showing of using that with also one of their Sony stabilized lenses.
You mean Fuji?
Or no,
Are we talking about Fuji?
this is Sony.
Oh,
We
the
have-
A7.
Yes,
The A7, you're
yeah.
back. The A7 II, you're back.
Uh-huh.
To. Okay, I'm sorry.
And I was amazed at watching the image stabilization.
Yeah, see, this one has the stabilization built into the camera.
Into the camera.
Camera body.
Yes.
The A7 does. And of course, the advantages are that lenses can be a little less expensive. You don't have to build it into every single lens. But also, there's some thought that it can make a bigger difference as far as it can stabilize better, so that when you handhold the camera, you don't see camera movement. Or you can use slower shutter speeds and still take pictures in very low light conditions. So yeah, there is really that's a good feature. A lot of people think that those are better than the in-camera stabilizations.
Well, and I was also, like I said, I was looking at when they were talking about using this body with an image stabilized lens on it also. It made it where literally you could have it just like right on sharp. It was amazing. I talk about a lens later on, so I should probably show that lens.
Well, it'll have to be next week, because you know
Already?
what time it is.
No way.
Way.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Well,
that
this
time.
went fast.
It did.
It did.
But it was fun, huh?
It was.
We talked about a few things, and
We did.
and we got more stuff to go next week. So we're having kind of a resurgence of stuff in the camera industry. All of a sudden, there's
It is.
all this stuff everywhere. Sometimes it gets kind of like, what are we going to talk about? But we got plenty.
We got plenty. And by the way, this camera that I was just talking about also came out with 5 stars. Very important. Very important.
Are those stars actually printed on the camera?
No. Review stars.
But that would be cool, right?
Out of all of them that I looked at, I thought this would be a camera I would buy.
I think they're on the verge of a new model coming
Really?
up. Well, it seems like Sony's got a model of the month club on the
that's the only bad
on the
thing.
cameras. Well, it's not a bad thing, because that means if they're continually innovating. So why continue to make one that, hey, we figured out something new that would be even better and cooler?
But how would I be at spending $1,700 and find out my camera just got bumped in? It's like, what? Spent that much money and now the new camera's out, and that's at least the only thing I can say with the 5D Mark III is I have gotten my money out of that camera.
And it's kind of getting kind of long in the tooth. So don't you think it's, I mean,
I still love
they're
that
coming out
camera.
with the Mark IV any minute. you know, so
We'll see how well
and
it
then
does.
what are you going to do? Then your camera's going to be old.
I know.
And useless.
Well, no, I don't think useless. I'm not thinking useless. I still have the 5D.
Yeah, there's a new model out. This suddenly doesn't work anymore. This is just not going to cut it. This thing is junk. No, that's probably not true.
Not true.
But it does give you, and that's I think there are a lot of industries where they work on the people want the latest and greatest. So, and that drives lots of industries, not maybe just this one.
True.
All right, everybody.
Okay. Bye.
Takes lots
See
of
you
pictures.
next week.
Glad to have Rhonda back.
Yeah,
we'll see if we can get her back next week too. We can keep her off the
I'm going to the
vacation
Bahamas.
circuit. Yeah. Again, gosh, we're paying you entirely too much. That's
I'll
what
say.
I say. Which is nothing. So that's pretty darned amazing.
It is amazing. Bye, everybody. See you
All right.
next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Cool Photo Tools podcast. Sign up for our mailing list at coolphototools.com. Got a question? Send an email or MP3 audio file to info@coolphototools.com. Thanks for listening.